Greetings, Star Trek Fleet Commanders. I am the Angry Rhino. So, incursions is set to start soon. EU should start today, US tomorrow, and then APEC Saturday. Now, this is going to be hopefully, quick refresher on base defense with a little emphasis on how I'm going to use Tal and suggest that you do something similar. So right off the bat, you see Orion Corvette here, very small, cheap, quick to repair. And this is going to be my Harrison loadout. Harrison's going to ignore some shields in the first round, only the first round, and he's going to be boosted by Bones' captain ability. And our caddy here, just for synergy, doesn't really matter who you use, just somebody to get max synergy for Bones. Next to Orion, and I will refresh why Orion's in a minute. This is the Crass crew. His captain ability is going to hopefully negate / reduce your opponent's captain ability. And his little buddies for synergy, and they also give some damage reduction. Next one I have Pike, Moreau, Strike Team Ortegas. She has a chance to prevent weapons shot by an opponent to not fire the next time. Pike will boost officer chance abilities. Does he necessarily boost Ortegas? And again, we have had some rumors that she isn't working properly. Best I can tell, she is working properly. And the best I can tell, Pike does boost the chance that Ortegas will pop. It's not like set in stone, or it is tough to tell because it's not like, let's say, Una. The next ship, well, why am I explaining without doing this here? And Picard Beverly for the boost. Picard and Beverly and Pike Moreau are interchangeable. I just happen to pick these. Describe Una's ability. It takes 20%, 27% away from the shield mitigation, which I like to call shield absorption, but I gotta make sure you know what I'm talking about. This isn't a chance for anything to happen. It will happen, and 27% will come off. Now that is easier to identify that it's happening. If something is like 5% chance and it gets boosted, it's a little tougher to tell that it's actually working because of the way the number generator in this game works. It's kind of terrible. So again, Strike Team Una is going to remove some shields or reduce the effectiveness of your opponent's shield. And with Harrison, his reduction in shields plus Una should equal no shields in the first round. And because Picard here gets an additional 120% for a total of 220% of this ability, this should mean, at least for me anyway, it means no shields for a ship attacking my station. Essentially, 2.2 times whatever this ability is. It's more than 50%. Not that great with math, but it doesn't really matter because she pops once in the first round, then a second time in the second round. If it's 50% each, that's 100%. No shields. Now, you see that was a different battleship. One, Una needs to be on a battleship to work. Strike Team Una. Strike Team Una, that is. Assuming that did I even have the right? Yes, I did have the right Una. Now, excuse me. Why I have all these Orions. One, cheap to repair, quick to repair. The idea with the smaller ships is you hit the repair button after they're destroyed, and then you immediately click the little green button for an instant repair. Now, why 3 Orions in front of this Tala? Well, as you can see, the Tala is 159. That one's smaller, that one's smaller, that one's smaller. These 3 battleships, these Orions, will get hit before the Tala gets hit. It's important to remember that when a ship is attacking your station, it's going to attack its triangle advantage first, then its equal, and then its disadvantage, and then survey ship. So, hypothetically, if an interceptor attacks my base, it's going to hit this Orion first, then this Orion, then this one, then hit the Tala, and then it will hit the interceptor because that's its equal, and then it'll hit the baby jellyfish, and then the discovery, and then move on to the survey ship. Oh, what did I want to talk about? Now, if you don't have Battleship Strike Team, or you want to use them somewhere else, another officer team or sets you could use. And the first 2 are pretty standard. The Harrison crew, the Crass crew, you're going to want them on either way. But again, if you don't want to use Battleship Strike Team for base defense, you can use, let's put Tilly here on the, notice, 3rd biggest Orion, because she doesn't need to last till the 2nd round. I would use Burnham here as your 3rd synergy officer, because it is Tilly's captain ability that is to start of combat when defending from player attack. Tilly decreases opponent's shield health by 10% of its starting health. With synergy, that gets bigger. Use Burnham here because her officer ability, when fighting players, each weapon attack that hits the opponent, Burnham removes 300% of your officer attack. 300 of your officer attack on your ship from the opponent's shields, so that will give you an additional shield stripping. And then on the Una's spot, now I say this because this is the one you're going to want to survive to the 2nd round, hopefully to the 3rd round. That depends. And you're going to want Yuki as captain. Don't put Harrison here, but put Zhao for max synergy. No, not necessarily max. Most of you probably, hopefully, know Yuki by now. Decreases opponent's shield health by 10% each round. That is just her without synergy. Now you notice she doesn't need to be on a battleship. You can use whatever ship type you like, just to ensure that she survives. Make sure there are several of the same ship types in front of her that are smaller, that are going to take some shots and not get her killed early. Okay, moving on to some of the support ships. As I mentioned in some of my other videos about base defense, I usually like to be somewhat active, defending a friend being raided, you're raiding somebody, your opponent is defending. Whatever the case may be, the discovery is very useful. Summon a ship right here to wherever your discovery is. Now you see this is max synergy here, Saru here, is going to help you in defense because he's going to reduce your opponent's damage. Now, remember how I said surveys would get hit last? All the triangle ships first. This is where Tal should go on a survey ship. You saw I have my amalgam again because, especially with incursions, you may want to be raiding. Therefore, you don't necessarily want to keep swapping out ships. So, you can potentially use Tal on your amalgam. It will get hit last as far as ships go if your station gets hit. So, you see Tal here on the side. Giorgio as captain because her captain ability is removing some attack from your opponent, attack stat, hopefully reducing its damage a little bit. No, that's actually not what I wanted to do. You can potentially use Giorgio, Nero, and Tal just to make sure you get burning. It's not necessary. As you can see, I have Baitor here. That boosts the amalgam's ship ability, which extra loot if you're raiding. See, I also have some more increased cargo folks down here, just in case I do want to swap out an officer. Stone, Borgstone. And you can see I have some lower deckers, just in case maybe if somebody is raiding with their amalgam, I can potentially beat it with my amalgam and get more OPC. So, I got the relatively unused for me, depending on what I'm doing actually. With Rutherford for increased shield and Boimler for increased mitigation. Now you notice I have Dazak here. His below deck ability is to activate Assimilate on the target. Think of Assimilate as burn and hull breach. It doesn't necessarily need to be on a specific ship in order for all ships to take advantage of it. So kind of think of it like an armada, right? If I burn the armada, everybody else on my team attacking the armada can take advantage of burn. Just like these other ships, we'll go to this one. I have my Talios loaded up again because I might want to go hit a ship that is trying to raid me or my friends or what have you. And I have, you see, Borg Queen and Goza below deck. That is potentially for base defense. That is not for PvP because, the other guy was on the other ship. But they can potentially take advantage of Assimilate for me. And Interceptor Strike Team, that is dual purpose. It will help you in base defense because it will put hull breach on the target. And a few other lower deckers to give boosted abilities. And lastly, Baby Jellyfish because, no, that's not it. Baby Jellyfish has a ship ability to increase the captain maneuver. Now, it doesn't necessarily work for all captains. Why? I don't know. For example, Tilly, as I mentioned, another crew you could use to remove shields. This ship does not boost Tilly anymore. Why? Don't know. I guess we were doing too good at base defense. But it should boost Yuki, so get you more shield stripping. Now this is solely for base defense purposes. I have the other officers here, just, hot swaps. But Pawn has a chance at the start of the battle to delay opponent's weapons firing for 3 rounds. And you can see Cadet McCoy here, his officer ability boosts the captain's maneuver. And Next Gen Crusher is a carbon copy, also does the same thing. Alright. That is going to do it. it is important to know, excuse me, yes, I have max ship slots. It's okay that you don't. It really is, because it really comes down to the basics. And that's really the 4 ships I talked about first. The rest of them are bonuses. Choose to use them how you feel. But if you really want to stop or have a really good chance, because some of these ships get really big, to stop ships from winning against your station, this is how you're going to want to do it, right? Harrison, he's a must. Crass is a must. Got to negate Rom. And depending on how you choose, either the Battleship Strike Team ladies, Una and Ortegas, or Tilly and Yuki, to get rid of shields. Shields are big because they're always going to take up 80% of the damage left unless specified otherwise. So removing that is key. Alright. Not as quick as I would have liked, but however, comment below. What are you feeling about incursions? And give suggestions, comments, what have you, about your base defense crews and how it goes for you. Be sure to like and subscribe. I am the Angry Rhino. Shields up, Commanders.